Hi everyone, are you ready to see how I got this look? I am going to take you step by step on how to use the best Dollar Tree products. Most of the launches have been within the last couple of months to get a wonderful, wonderful look. You could never tell that this was all pretty much $1.25, $1.50 at the most, each product. So stay tuned and I'll take you through how I achieve this look. And this is everything that we are using to achieve this look. I can't wait to show you guys. I am going to use the pore smoothing corrector first. I am also using this Dermacell under the eye hydrator. The roller ball is awful. I understand that. You're just going to have to work with it. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. The Glow Serum by Freeman. This is a primer, so I will be using that. The Prolux, which I love, it does say matte. I don't find it to be matte. It's more of a natural finish, but it's very full coverage. So I'm going to mix it with a little bit of the Dermacell Milky Toner to make a little bit of a more sheer coverage. I'm going to be using two concealers. These are the Camo Concealers by Ioni. This is my more typical shade. I use this under my eye to brighten. It's got a little bit of like a peachy hue. So I find that it really does cover darker circles pretty well. And I'm going to use this to bronze. I am also going to be using this to prime my eyes and this to prime my eyes. Why? Because this primer right here does not have a lot of coverage, but I'm hoping that it'll help my eye makeup stay on longer and better. Yes, this eyeshadow primer. This is from the Veil of Allure by Ioni. I'm hoping that it's going to work well. I've heard that it is a dupe for the Urban Decay, which also does not have a lot of pigment to it. I'm going to try the Ioni Loose Setting Baking Powder. This is the pink one. That was in the Daydreaming collection. I will be using this Prolux Ivory Powder. Let's see how that performs. I do like the translucent powder, but I haven't liked any of the other pigmented powders. So let's see how this one does. I finally found, yay, the brown lip liner. So this is the True Brown. I will be pairing that with this lip plumper. So this is by Ioni. This is from the Veil of Allure collection. And I have already prepped my lips with the hydrating lip mask. I'm also going to be trying out some colors from both of these palettes. And you know, they're really nice Malibu Glitz palettes. Last year we saw the really thin ones. We saw them come back, but I got these larger palettes. I do like them. If they perform like they did, like the ones from last year, they're gonna be very pigmented. I am trying the Bold Lash by LA Color. Let's see how that works. And because I haven't seen anything new launch, I'm gonna use my tried and true, my favorite La Mercier Ultimate Control eyeliner. I love this liner. I have lots of backups. That's everything I'm using. So let's get into this look. I have already prepped my face. I put my moisturizer, I've been using this during the day because it's wintertime. I need something with a little bit more moisture. I first put on my Oaky Milk Toner. I then put on my moisturizer. I let that sit for a few minutes and then I have been using this up. This is my sunscreen. So I do like it. I think it's a little pricey for what it is, but I've been using that. I don't use Dollar Tree sunscreen. It's probably one of the only things I don't use is Dollar Tree. And then I also prep my eyes with this. This has been getting a lot of hate, but I love it. It's a multivitamin eye serum. It does have vitamin C, caffeine, and Matrixyl 3000. Now, what's helping my eyes? The caffeine's probably doing a lot of like the heavy lifting. So what I do is I put some onto my hand and you're gonna feel this roller ball is junk. It's awful, it sticks, it's like the worst. And then you get a little bit on your hand, the back of your hand, and then you just put it under your eyes. I think that's the best way. One of my followers said that she had kind of jimmied out the little roller ball. I tried that on one, but then when I put the cap on, it was leaking. So I think this is just the easiest way to use it. And honestly, it is really nice. It absorbs really well. I can't tell you how good makeup like sits on top of it. So if it wasn't for the roller ball, I think a lot more people would like this item. So, you know, I kind of really recommend at least trying it. Okay, so Spa Scriptions came out with this pore smoothing corrector. And what it says is fragrance-free, paraben-free, mineral oil-free, alcohol-free, minimizes the appearance of pores and texture. And then it says it has chamomile and it has retinol. And it says apply after using all skincare and before any makeup. Spread a dime-sized amount across the entire face or concentrate a small amount in targeted areas where a blurring effect is desired. So is this like a primer for under makeup? I don't know. So I am gonna try it out today. I do wanna give it like a really good try. Okay, it is very jelly-like. It is clear. It is a watery consistency. It's very thin, thinner than I thought it would be. That doesn't mean that it's bad, just thinner than I thought it would be. Let's see. Let's put this on. I'll put a little bit down my neck because I do blend, you know, my foundation down my neck a little bit. All right, let's let that dry. I'll be right back. Okay, it dried down. It is very like kind of mattifying, which, do I see a difference in my pore size appearance? I don't know that I do. I don't know. It is mattifying. It is not sticky. I'll have to play around with this. So far, I kind of like it. I think that it's probably going to help with a nice base for foundation. However, I did want to try the Glow Up, Freeman Glow Up Serum Primer. So, Glow Serum Makeup Primer. It's vitamin C and enhanced pigments. So, there is mica in here. There also is silica. Those two things are probably going to give a little bit of glow, and it's not necessarily due to moisture. It's just kind of a glow. So let's just pop this open. Let's just see what we get. Okay, that's a little drop bottle, kind of like that. Okay, it's thicker, I think, than the last product I put on. It is clear. You see that? Just see what it's gonna look like on the back of my hand. Yep, there's a little bit of sheen to it, and it does feel very moisturizing. All right, let's try it out. I wonder how it's gonna do on top of this pore corrector I've already tried. I don't wanna like, you know, mix too many products because I'd like to see how the products actually perform. But I wasn't sure if the pore smoothing corrector was more skincare versus primer. Not sure. Let's just see how this does. Okay, so it is smoothing. Let's see, there is glycerin, so it's got both, so that's hydrating. And the silica, as I said. There is some vitamin C in here. I wonder, you know, how stable vitamin C's are. It's hard to tell until you use them over time, but that's that. And it's not too sticky, but there is a little bit of stickiness. So that should help with, you know, the foundation. So I am gonna use Prolux again. It's my favorite foundation right now at the Dollar Tree, although I do love Be Pure, both of the foundations. You do have to color correct a lot of times with them. And then for deeper skin tones or very light skin tones, they just don't have a very good range. You can correct them. I will link below my video on how you can correct Dollar Tree foundations. But, and I do think it's worth it because they're good foundations. They finish very well. They're a very like natural finish to dewy finish, depending on which one you use. And they do last during the day and they feel good on the skin. I am not a fan of Candy Moyo. A lot of people love it. I just find it to be such a, like a thick feeling. It's not very thick when you put it on, it doesn't appear that way. But it is like it just makes me hot and just kind of feels bad on my skin. So, but we all have different complexions. So, you know, use what you think works for you. This is a natural, which is very much my color right at the moment. Now this does say matte foundation. However, I find it to be more of a natural foundation, and I just put 1.5 pumps on my hand. And then I am going to mix just a little bit of this oatmeal toner in. And the reason I'm doing that is because this happens to be a little full coverage for me. Sometimes I need the full coverage. There are times when my skin is so red. You guys have seen that before where I'm just having like a flare up. But right now my skin is doing pretty well. So I'm just mixing it on the back of my hand. I am going to dot it onto my face and start to blend. You guys know that I love, and don't come for me, I am going to wash my brushes right after this video, but I love the Sassy and Chic, the ones with these handles. I tried out the, let's see, it was Must Have Beauty, the brushes, and I just did not like the foundation brush for foundation. I actually do like it for contour or bronzer. The only one I really liked in this whole collection was this flat top foundation brush I like for bronzer. The only one I really liked was the kind of like thin one. What was it called? But that was a bronzing brush, and I did like it. It kind of was like, it was thin and you can really like kind of bronze or contour easily with it. The other thing that this was actually pretty good for, I think, is powder blush. For my regular blush, for like liquid and for cream blushes, I really love the one that's like this, that is for blush, which I can't find right at the moment for some reason. It's very similar to my Sephora blush brush, and it's shaped similarly. Why can I not find it? Give me a second. I cannot find it right now, but it's the one in this collection, and it's excellent. And with this kind of a blush brush, you are just tapping, tapping, tapping. You're tapping your product in. When you have like a powder, it's a little bit more difficult to use this. You still can, but I find like a flat brush to be better. So that's what I would recommend you use the foundation brush for. This is excellent for foundation. Well, this is also excellent for bronzing and for contouring. So, you know, anyway, all of that is to say, you know, let me just like buff this into the skin with my brush here, and I will be right back. All blended in. Full disclosure, I did use one of these. I love these from Must Have Beauty. They can be used for foundation as you would a blending sponge, or, you know, and so it's wet. Or I have a dry one for powder, and I love it for both. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys the Camouflage Liquid Concealer by Ioni. People have very differing opinions on this. There are some strong opinions as to whether people love it or hate it. I feel like you either love it or hate it. I love it. Okay, this is in Cool Light. And, you know, I really do like this because it is a little bit more full coverage than what you're gonna get with Be Pure. And because I do have some dark circles, I have the Cool Light. It is a little bit on the pinkish side. So I actually find that that helps kind of cover the darkness, you know, a little bit better than maybe the other shade that I get in from the Be Pure. I'm gonna use it also as eyeshadow primer. Okay, and I am just gonna take this. So I let it sit for a few seconds, and then I just start blending. And it is just a more full, you can already see, like a more full coverage than, you know, Be Pure. I will be right back after blending. I just wanted to show you this last, you know, area that I'm blending. So I'm taking this is wet, and I am just blending this in under the eye. And can you see how it just really brightened that area? So I do have some serious pigment on the top of my eyes, especially right down towards the lash line. And so this is not patchy. That's just some of the pigment from my natural eye just showing through. But it's just so smooth. To me, this performs as a higher end product might. And I do like it for the coverage. Now, I do like the serum concealer as well. And I like that for hydration and for like a day where I don't need a lot of coverage. But when I don't use it and I do need the coverage, I'm putting just a lot of this on to make sure that my under eyes are very hydrated. Because if they're not hydrated, you're gonna get a lot of crepiness and like, you know, it's gonna settle in your fine lines if you're not prepping under your eye correctly. Okay, so next I did try another Prolux setting powder. So you guys, if you've been watching me, you know that I love the translucent powder. I really do by Prolux. I think that it's wonderful. And then I've tried several others. So this is an ivory. And you're probably thinking like, I'm not that light skinned. Why am I trying ivory? Well, I tried bisque and it was just too orange. And I tried another one. I think it was in a blue top. And I can't remember what the color was. And it was too dark. So I'm gonna try the ivory and see if maybe I can make it work. Because I don't think the powder is like so terribly pigmented that it should lighten everything. So I'm gonna take it on this same Sassy and Chic line on the powder brush. I love this powder brush for kind of just under the eyes, in crevices, like around my nose, because it's so small and it gets in there so well. The other thing you can use, of course, is this. And let's just see which way I like better. So I'm gonna put some just on my back of my hand, you know? That is quite nice. I don't think that's too terribly light for me. I don't know if you can see the area that I patted it on. It's right here. And it's definitely got a nice blurring effect. It's blurring under my eyes very nicely. Okay. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and take my all over brush. This is another Sassy and Chic. It's double-sided. I am not the biggest fan of this. It's okay. I'm also not the biggest fan of this because if you can see, like some of the pieces are starting to shed. Whereas the other Sassy and Chic line, I've literally had this almost 2 years now. I want to say, I keep saying over a year, but like it's at least 20 months. Like I feel like it's, you know, 22 months, somewhere in that range. And I just keep washing it over and over again. It doesn't lose anything. And when it does, like it's performed so well. This I've only had a few months. I've washed it twice and I'm getting shedding. So having said that, let me just use this to powder the rest of my face. I'll be right back. Okay, I just took a minute to look at it. I think ivory is an okay color for me. However, I don't think it performed as well as the translucent powder. There's like a little bit of powder just kind of settling into the lines next to my nose right now. And the translucent doesn't do that for me. Okay, I totally forgot. I wanted to actually use this under my eyes. I think I still can use just a little touch of it. The loose baking powder bought from the Daydreaming collection. This brightens complexion, locks in makeup, controls shine, vitamin E mineral powder, paraben free. This is cool pink, which is interesting. I have not used a pink under eye setting powder ever. I know that this is a dupe for Huda Beauty. And I know that it became very popular when Huda launched and released their pink setting powder. So let's give this just a very light dusting try. I don't love kind of apparently pink under eye look that much. I've seen many people do it. So let's see how this does. Okay, first of all, there is no, it's just like the other powder, which the Prolux. There is nothing here that is going to sift it for you. There's no sifter at the top. So I put just a little bit in the top. I'm gonna swirl my brush in. Let's just see how this goes on. Okay, so I don't see a lot of pink pigment. This is very finely milled, I will say that. Okay, I mean, it's cute. If you put on just a light dusting of this, yeah, I like it. I'm gonna try it out. Next time I'll put it on alone without putting any other powder on, and let's see, you know, how it performs. But I have to say, I'm looking at it up close. It is really a soft powder. It is really finely milled. I think this performed better than the Prolux powder, for sure. So I'm gonna switch probably back to either my OG, essentially ageless, you know, pigmented powder, which I love. Guys, I found it once since I last, you know, filmed doing a Get Ready With Me, and I got like 4 of them, and I can't find them again. Like, I don't know, are they just off shelves? Are they not as popular? I'm gonna have to just stock up. I'm gonna get like 8 of them. I'm gonna be that girl, and you know, that way I'll have it for a while, because really one of them will last me 6 months. But it is my favorite powder at the Dollar Tree, and it's actually one of my favorite powders overall, because I just can't see spending more than $1.25 on powder when this powder works so well. Like $10 for powder at the, you know, at the drugstore, I just can't see it. Unless it's something very special. I will shout out that I do like the L'Oreal Infallible Blurfection. I do think it gives a little bit of luminosity, and it's better for, you know, over 40 skin like I have. So a really good win right now. First impression, I think that's a great product. Next, I'm gonna go in with this eyeshadow primer. This is by Ioni. This is Spritz, is what it says on the bottom. Now, why did I put concealer on my eyes? Because this does not have a concealing effect. So I've heard that this is kind of a dupe for the Urban Decay. The Urban Decay does not have a lot of pigment to it, but what it does is it kind of grips your shadow, and it really helps to make it last. And that's similar to this product. So you'll see there's kind of a smaller, you know, applicator, and you just kind of spread it on, and it'll help to really grip your eye makeup. Let me just spread this all over, and I'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, there is like next to no pigment that it added, but there is kind of a stickiness. You know, so let's just see how this performs. I'm hoping that it's gonna help my eye makeup stay on longer. Okay, so I do have 2 new eyeshadow palettes by Malibu Glitz. These 2 I picked up a little while ago. I want to try a look out with both of them. I'm really loving like the purples, and I'm really also loving kind of this brown, this like reddish, you know, and the browns. So let's just see what we come up with. Let's see what we have. Let me do a little bit of swatching. So first I'm gonna pick up this color. Okay, that's very pretty. And a little bit of the darker purple, also very pretty. Now I had picked up some of these palettes that were very thin last year, and I felt like they performed pretty well. Okay, that pink is really pretty. And they were very pigmented, a little bit powdery in the pan, but they blended really nicely and they went on very well. Okay, so what's interesting is that one of these is a cream. Now, is it a cream eyeshadow or is it a cream blush? Because it does say blush on the back. I feel like that would be an extremely light blush. I think that's an eyeshadow, but it's cream. Let's see how it dries down. It's very glittery, or at least shimmery. Now this is also a cream. So it's this like, let me show you the 2 creams. This one's a cream and this one's a cream. It is like a tan. I can't imagine that that would be anything blushy. So it seems to me like it would be just a cream shadow. Very light on me because it's very similar to my skin tone. Okay, let me just wipe off my fingers and do a little bit more swatching here. All right, so we're getting into the blues. That is like a nice teal, how pretty. A green, beautiful. A very bright blue, very pretty. And then this kind of mauvey brown, beautiful. All right, that's on one arm. Now let's try on this arm the second palette. So we've got a lot more shimmers in here. We have some more browns and sort of what might be a blush, I'm not sure, but that's kind of a corally red brick. I want to say it's like a coral brick color. That's very pretty. And I think that could be used as an eyeshadow. I don't see any reason why it has to be a blush. Ooh, look at that copper. I may try that. Very pretty. All right, here's like a highlight shade. It is like a light shade. That's beautiful. Actually, there's one light shade that also looks like a highlight shade over here. It's much more pearly. Oh gosh, that is gorgeous. So that is in the first palette, and that's this one. How beautiful. Okay. And then this light lilac, let's see if that's a cream. It is. Now I can't imagine again that this would be a blush, so I'm gonna assume that that's, you know, a cream shadow. Okay, and let's get into these shimmers. All right, this is a silver. Wow, it's very nice, but it's a dark silver. Okay, there's the shimmer blue, beautiful. Shimmer darker blue, blue green. And then the last shimmer, also kind of a smoky blue green, very smoky. Okay, so those are the colors. They're very pretty. What do I think I'm gonna do? I think let me start off with a brown, and then I think I'm gonna pick up some purples. So let's start there. So I had to mix two of the brown shades. One is a little too light, one is just a tad too dark. But let's just see if we can't get something going here just to put down as like a nice base. You know, I do like to usually start off with a brownish shade since that's what I normally will wear, and then I'll build off of that. Especially when I'm using something like a purple color. But you guys, if you've been following me, you know that purple is like my favorite color ever. So, okay. And then next, I'm wondering if I should just try a little bit of this lighter purple. I love it. Let's see how it goes on. Oh, it's so pretty. I do like that. So I'm probably gonna do a little bit of shading in the outer corner with the darker purple. This is a pretty purple. It is, let's see, where was it that I swatched it? I think it's this one right here. Okay, let's blend it through. Let's see how I like that. I do. I like that a whole lot. That's very pretty. Okay, I am going to, a little bit of pink, I think. I'm going to take a flatter brush. I think I'm just gonna put a little bit of pink right here. Lay that down. So this is more bold than I normally go for, but it is quite pretty. Do a little bit of blending with that initial blending brush. Okay, and then I'm gonna take another fluffy brush, and I am going to, it's like dome shaped a little. I am going to put a little bit of that darker purple color. Let me show you. This one right here. In the outer corner, let's just see. That's pretty, very pretty. If you hear that, that's just my little puppy whining. She wants to go out and say hi to the dog next door, but I don't want her just barking through the fence nonstop right now. And she just went out like not 5 minutes ago. Okay, let's blend it through. I like that. I think I'm gonna stop right there. I love it. I think that's really pretty. Let's go on to eyeliner. I haven't found anything too new as far as eyeliner goes at the Dollar Tree in a while, so I am going to be using my favorite La Mercier. I do love this eyeliner. This is the Ultimate Control eyeliner in brown. I think that it is a really nice shade. I do have one open already, so I'm going to use this open one. This is a backup. I've got two backups of this, and I've got a backup of the black one too. But let me just line my eyes. I just do a very thin line. I'm not really big on any wings or thick lines or anything of that nature, but I find that this lasts all day and it just dries down really well. It's not flaky. It doesn't transfer. It lasts the longest that I've ever really seen an eyeliner last at the Dollar Tree. The only other thing that I like is the potted LA Colors, I think it's only black, but it's the matte liner. Actually, it might come in a brown as well. It doesn't last as long, but this one's longer lasting in my testing. But the others, like they'll go on nicely. Even Ione, they'll go on very nicely, but then they just flake off or they transfer really within like 4 or 5 hours. So anyhow, let me put this on. I'll be right back. Okay, eyeliner's on. I love it. It's very easy to use. I just go as close to my lash line as possible. That's how I put eyeliner on. I am next going to try the LA Bold Lash Mascara. I've heard good things about this. Again, it's been mixed reviews. I've heard some bad things about this. So let's try it out. Okay, so here it is. This is the wand. It's not as goopy as I thought, but let's see over the next couple days as it dries down. Oh, and I did curl my eyelashes while I was off camera. I am still using a Wet n Wild eyelash curler. I do not like the typical ones from the Dollar Tree. I did see someone else review them and say that for some reason the one with black handles did not perform like the one with the multicolored handles, like the different colors. I used them and I tried them out years ago now. At least 2 years ago was the last time I tried them. And I can't remember if I had a black handled one or not. So maybe that was the thing. If you love the ones from the Dollar Tree, let me know. Because I'm willing to give it another shot, anything to save a little bit of money. However, I do see that there is a Diamond Cosmetics one, so I'm on the hunt for it. I'd like to get a couple of them, try them out. If I like them, I'm gonna stock up because I don't wanna spend more than $1.25 on tools, you know? I just don't see any reason to do it. And, you know, Wet n Wild used to be very affordable, and now I'm finding that it is hard to budget if I want to get Wet n Wild products. They're still more affordable than other products at the Dollar Tree. At the drugstore. But it's just getting so expensive. Anyway, okay, I am using my little lash separator tool. I'm finding this a little bit clumpy, but not bad. You know, for Dollar Tree mascara, it's not bad. First impression is I'm still gonna like my mascara from the drugstore better. And I still think that the best mascara is that one with fibers. Was that Ione with fibers? I think it was. But I did find that within maybe 10 days or so, it does dry down to not being able to be used any longer. But at the $1.25 price point, I'm openly wondering if that's okay. It still did not perform like drugstore mascara. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. Because there are some drugstore mascaras that I think rival high-end mascaras, and I think that they're excellent. Excellent. Okay, let me just put a second coat on. Let's see if this is gonna clump right up. I think it is. Okay, it's not terrible. I'm just putting it more on the ends. I'm concentrating it more on the ends of my lashes. Okay, it's not terrible. I can see why a lot of Dollar Tree girlies really like this. It is probably one of the better mascaras at the Dollar Tree, so. Okay, that's all I'm gonna do for eyes right now. I will come back and probably do a little bit of inner corner highlight. And again, I wanna play with this, see how it dries down over the next week. See if it's gonna get very clumpy like other people have indicated it does. I hope not. Okay, next is eyebrows. So I am gonna try the lamination brow gel, and I'm worried about it because I've heard that it's a little bit difficult to get off at the end of the night when you are finished with the day and you want to take your makeup off. And you can see behind me, it's nighttime. I mean, it's not even that late, and I'm going out tonight for the first time in forever since, I don't know, have you guys gotten snow? Because we got snow. So I'm just getting ready to go out. But I just don't want this to be really difficult to get off. So if you guys have been following me, I don't do a lot with my eyebrows as far as color. I do not fill in areas. There's probably a few areas that could use it, but my eyebrows are so bushy and so dark, I just don't do it. Okay, so here's a little wand. Now, am I gonna laminate straight up? No, it's just not my style. I just want to see if it will hold because I have like a little cowlick right here I like to hold a little bit, and yeah, all right, okay. So I have to say it's going on well. It's coating my eyebrows. It's holding where I want it to hold. Okay, I feel like it's drying down already. Okay, let's let that dry down. It is a little sticky. I don't think I'm going to use this tool because I'm not kind of like, you know, flicking them up. And I don't think I like how far apart these bristles are. I'd probably rather use a spoolie, if anything, and I usually have one available. I love those spoolies, like the pink ones in the pack of 5. I've gotten those several times. However, I don't have a spoolie right now outside of the one that is provided. To play with. Okay, let's see. All right, that is kind of falling. I don't want that to fall. All right, okay. It is drying down, it's hardening, but it's still sticky. All right, so I will say this. I think it works. I think that it probably is gonna stay a little bit sticky. I think that it does a good job of placing my eyebrows where I want them to be. How is it going to come off at night? I am going to try a couple of things. I am definitely going to try my normal makeup removing balm. I'm also going to try some micellar water. I'm just going to put like micellar water on pads and lay it down and try to get it off. And I'll let you guys know next time how it performs, how it comes off. I haven't seen any new, contouring. So I got the liquid concealer in a darker shade, the darkest shade. There's only 3 shades, to see if I can't contour with it. I'm curious as to whether it's gonna work. I hope I don't, mess up my entire complexion product altogether. So let's see here. Okay, so I'm just gonna take it, and I think I am going to use just my regular foundation brush. Do just a little bit of bronzer contour. Let's just see. Did I do too much? We'll see. It might be too much. Okay, let's take a little bit up. Oh, it's nice. See, look at how that is blending out. I do think that that's pretty. I like the shade. Yeah, that's very pretty. So that's a good idea that I had. Now, of course, my favorite at the Dollar Tree right now, and I think it's gonna be for a while, are the LA Colors Duos, and they have a cream and a powder. So it's highlight and bronzer contour. I think that they're so beautiful. I don't know why, it just goes on so well on my complexion. And so, I can get very dry in the winter, but generally speaking, I do still have a combination skin even at my age. I tend to break out a lot more in this area. Not so much on the forehead any longer, that's more dry. And then this gets very dry in the winter. So it is like more so than when I was younger, like both ends of the spectrum. I didn't usually actually get that dry even in the winter, but now I do. Okay, I like that. That's a really nice color for my complexion as far as a bronzer, kind of contour bronzer. I'm also gonna try the new Veil of Allure Cherry. This is Swipe and Go Blush Stick. I love a beautiful, beautiful, just kind of reddish color. As long as you are very light-handed with it, it is, you know, very pretty usually. So let me just swatch this real fast. 1 second. Here's the packaging, of course. Ione packaging is always fire. It's just so pretty. You don't get as much as you used to get like with the other blushes. I'm not sure why. I wonder if the formulation's better, but how could they get better than the other blush sticks that they have? I don't know. All right, there's the color. Okay. All right, let's see here. Let's blend it. It might be a little bit bright for this look, but it's what I have out today to try. So I was hoping it would be a little bit of a darker red, if that makes sense, just like a little bit of a deeper tone. Okay, so I'm gonna take my Sephora brush, which is very similar. For some reason, I can't find all my brushes today. And it may be that my little 15-year-old mole in my house has borrowed things again. She borrows a lot. But anyway, the blush brush from this collection is very similar to this and it's excellent. Okay, let's pick up just a little bit. I don't want to pick up too much. And then you're just going to tap it because this is cream. Oh, that's pretty. They're always gorgeous. I mean, LA Colors and Ione, their blushes are amazing. You know, you don't have to buy high end. You just don't. Just don't. Okay, let's just tap it. Oh, so pretty. What was I worried about? I'm always worried that it's just gonna be not quite right. And it's gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, a little bit on the nose just because I'm a little like pale. I'm not a little pale, I'm a lot pale. Let me just blend a little bit down here with the foundation brush. Yeah, that is gorge. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I'm so happy with this look. I'm gonna have to remember exactly what I did because I wanna recreate this weekly. Okay, I finally found this. Guys, I was on the hunt. I found the warm nude. I found like the other two, the plum. Could not find this true brown to save my life. Like I looked everywhere. You don't understand. I go to, normally, lately I haven't been going to very many stores. I've been ill, that's all I'll say about that right now. Very ill and not able to get out as often as I used to. But when I was feeling better a few months ago, I would go to the Dollar Tree like 3 times a week and probably 3 different Dollar Trees. Sometimes I go 4 times a week. Sometimes I go 3 times a week, but do 2 Dollar Tree trips in one day if it was like Saturday, Sunday, you know, whatever. And I could not find this anywhere. So let's try this out. Actually, I have the hydrating lip mask on. Everyone's favorite, my favorite, Be Pure. This rivals anything high-end. It is the best lip product I've ever used, and it is the most hydrating lip product I've ever used, and that includes like what it's trying to dupe, which is the Neutrogena. And I love it. Okay, let me just take some of it off because it's so hydrating. Sometimes it kind of interferes with the performance of this. So let us line. Of course, it's creamy, pigmented. That is a beautiful brown color. My Cupid's bow is always difficult because it's actually not symmetrical. So I try to make it symmetrical. Yep. Everything I've come to know and love from the Ione products. Right there, so beautiful, love it. And then I'm gonna try this plumping lip gloss with a shout out, I don't know if I have it, to the lipstick in the Veil of Velour. I love that warm toffee. I wear it all the time and I wanted to try something new today. So I did not put that out. I'm gonna do a full face of favorites, but I'm gonna have to do several full faces because I have several favorites, but I'm gonna do that very soon. Okay, so let's see. This is Rosé. Of course, this is the Veil of Velour by Ione. And that's the collection. Let's see what this is. Oh, cool. I love when they do the heart. It's just so cute. And then I think it pumps from the bottom, kind of like your Tarte that, what was it called? The Maracuja, I think that's what it was called. All right, let's see. Oh, okay. I'm definitely gonna have to blend. This is lighter than I thought it was gonna be. Oh, look at how corally it is. Okay, okay. I can still do it. I'll make it work. It's pretty. Actually, this combo is pretty. This is hydrating. Oh, that's pretty. I am liking that. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful product. Let's just see what's in here. It feels good. Oh, there's grapeseed oil. There is another oil that I don't know that I can pronounce. Nice. Yep, very hydrating. I'm loving this. That is a nice little combination that I probably would not have put together on purpose. So I'm glad I tried it out today and I'm glad it worked. Okay, so let us just do finishing touches. I am going to contour just a little bit on my nose. Just a little bit. So let me just take the littlest bit. Okay. Do a little bit higher on the other side. I do like just a tiny bit of contour. My schnoz feels like it's gotten bigger as I gotten older. Has it? I don't know, guys. Does that happen? I think it does. Okay, I do like that. Oh, I do feel the plumping effect. Oh, wow, I don't usually. Guys, this is a plumper. I don't usually feel it. Like my lips are numb or something, slightly. So if I feel it slightly, it's gonna kill some of you. Just be warned. Because I've tried millions of plumpers. I'm always like, I don't feel a damn thing. I don't know what everybody else feels. So, okay, that is gorgeous. Gorge, I love this. Okay, let me just do the last finishing touches, which is just to put on a little bit of highlight in the inner corner. I'm gonna go back to this palette. So this is the 03, and I am gonna use this highlight. It is very pearly, very pretty. Let's just see how it looks. Yep, gorgeous. It just brightens up my inner eye. Ooh, okay, I went a little too much on that side. Let me fix that. Oh boy. I got my waterline and my tight line. How did I do that? Okay, so only me. So, okay, a little bit there, a little bit right up here towards the brow. Okay, all right, my final look. This is so pretty. I am loving it. I'm gonna go put my outfit on now. Take down my hair. As an aside, when I take down my hair, I'm using this to refresh. The rice water, this is my 3rd bottle. I have 2 backups. I'm gonna get some more. I'm loving that. Oh, so, I didn't put any setting spray on. This is just the regular Le Mercier Hydro Glow setting spray. I've been using this now a few months. I like the sprayer a little bit better than the sprayer on the other matte setting spray. There we go. And that'll just melt everything in. Yes, the powder does look better now. Wow. Because that Ioni powder, or Prolox powder, excuse me, I was not that happy with. So you guys know, okay, love. I'm loving this, but it's gonna kill you guys because I can actually feel it, and I never feel them. It's a plumping lip gloss. Love. I think this is okay. I'm going to still try to use it. This is okay. I really like it for contour as far as the lighter color. For under my eyes, I think it does give a little bit more coverage. So I do like that. I'm gonna next time try to mix the Essentially Ageless and the camouflage and see what I get out of it. I like this. I think it did give a nice glow. I do like it. The primer, guys, a lot of people don't like this. I think it really helps. It's really helping everything sit very well. because I do like Malibu Glitz. Last year, like I said, I got those skinny ones. I got a couple of those, and I am loving the pigment. I mean, look at that. It's every bit as good as high end. And these couple of creams, although it says it's supposed to be blush, I would use that as cream shadow and put powder on top. You know, I just don't see myself using that purple. Although purple, you know, blush is very in, but I don't see myself using it. I don't think it's gonna look good on my skin tone and my skin type. So, you know, there's that. And last item, love. I know the rollerball stinks. Just squeeze it out onto your hand and then use it. I think the caffeine might be what's, you know, helping my under eyes the most, but Matrixyl 3000 is a very good ingredient, and so is vitamin C. Okay, I'm gonna check in later. I'm gonna give you guys an update on how everything wore. It's only gonna be about 4 or 5 hours, but I just can't wait to see if that eyeshadow primer did anything. I can't wait to see if the blush will, you know, last, the contour. I'm thinking the plumping lip gloss is not gonna be a long laster, but I am thinking that this liner is gonna last longer because the other liners last long. Back in a few hours to give you an update. Hi everybody. Okay, here's my check-in. So you can see that the eyeshadow really lasted tonight, and it's only been about 4 hours, but it lasted. It hasn't budged. There's no creasing whatsoever. It looks just as good as it did when I applied it 4 hours ago. The blush is still there. The contour is still there. My lips are gone. So the lip product was not that long lasting. And I think because it was so moisturizing, the gloss itself, I think it took up the Ione liner as well, but I do really like both of the products. So the mascara, I mean, it hasn't transferred, it hasn't flaked. It's only been 4 hours, and I am getting ready to take this off. So it hasn't really transferred. There really isn't any problem with it. I'd like to try to wear it for longer just before I give you my final thoughts on that. Of course, I love the Prolux foundation. I think it went on really well mixing it with the Milky Toner. It was a little bit more of a sheer, or at least a medium coverage instead of a full coverage. And it hasn't, as usual, it hasn't like lifted or started to break apart or anything like that. And I didn't love the powder, but once I set it with the Hydrating Glow Setting Spray by Le Mercier, I think that the powder kind of melted in better. So I did like it a little bit more after I set it with the setting spray, excuse me. So I think all in all, everything really worked out well. Oh, the eyebrows. So I see what everyone's talking about. They're sticky still, just a bit. And they're very like stiff. I mean, they stayed where I placed them. You know, I have this little cowlick here, so that was definitely helped with the eyebrow product. But let's just see how hard it is to remove. I don't know that I like the sticky sensation, you know, after applying it this many hours out. So, you know, I'm kind of on the fence. I like it. I think it's okay. Most of these products, though, were a complete win tonight. I hope that you guys can find these products. I hope you try them. If you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe. Don't forget to turn on bell notifications so that you are notified when I post. And if you like this video, I'm sure you will like the next suggested video. Until next time, take care.